But
Interesting.
it's something that like with time I'm gonna with time it'll be fine, but like it's something still that I'm like, you know what, like personally I try not to talk about it too her too much. One, because it's like we're both like living totally different lives now. um but also because like I try to be very careful with my words. I try to be very careful with them, because words are powerful and they hold a lot of weight. So I don't ever want to say something that like I don't mean or I want to take back. So
Classy.
especially when like talking about her, I
You're
just
raised
like
well.
I don't want to like, yeah, when I have like my thoughts like together, like it'll be a different story. But
Yeah, you'll write your book and you'll get it out like that.
but
All right, friends, part 2 of my conversation with Nia. We're really going to dive into the conversation that I don't feel like I'm getting to hear often, which is between generations. Why is this young generation suffering more? Why are they struggling with mental health? And how can we all come to a place where we understand each other and can help each other grow and get better? And I think it's going to be really eye-opening, whether you're of a higher, older generation like Kevin, you're stuck somewhere in the middle like me, or you're in that young generation like Nike and Dwayne and Nia. I think you're going to learn so much and love it. It's one of my favorites. Enjoy.
So we're back with part 2. We're all laughing.
We're back with part 2, where we're going to be exploring what Nia was saying that she was taught, which was save your tears for the pillow. Was that Abby that taught you that?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And like the thing
But that's
is,
an old school way. It's not just an indictment
Yeah,
on
it's
Abby.
very-
That's
it's
a
very old
20th.
We know
school.
better now, but that's what it was
yeah,
like.
and I do feel like a lot of like just the older generation just like think that way too. I feel like you know what, especially as I've gotten into more of like the advocacy like space, the more like health awareness or mental health awareness space, I've learned that a lot of people like to silence the youth. They like to silence the youth.
It's so fun. Why do you want to take that away from me?
Here's the thing. It's so hard for one group to be trained one way and for the new group to be like, no, this is the way. And we're like, wait, we suffered. What do you mean? Like it's a learning process.
Yes, for sure. So we all have to just, it's very interesting because like, I feel like a lot of, I mean, we hear it in the media all the time. They're like, yeah, the kids don't want to work. They're being lazy. They, like all the things like, they're so sensitive now. They cry about everything. We can't say the same things that we were able to say before. Maybe that's a good thing, and maybe that's a really good thing.
But yeah. I have not heard anybody talk about this. This is really fun, actually. I like to hear what you think the older generation's saying. I like to hear more of it.
Yeah, I just I feel like I got a lot of people online. They're like, everyone's too sensitive nowadays, especially like sometimes when I'm working like with the White House and stuff, and people have opinions, which is like, okay, people have opinions.
No, they don't.
But people do. People have opinions.
Yes, they do.
But it's just interesting because I feel like the like I'll use Gen Z, but just like the younger generation, like we're just very like we're trying to figure things out, but at the same time we're trying to be more inclusive and try to just make the world a better place, and as we're trying to like be happier, we're really struggling with our mental health. And that's also why like it's so important for me to talk about and do things like Seize the Awkward, because it's a huge issue that's impacting our youth. It is a huge
suicide rates are through the roof.
But why do you think?
I mean, I couldn't exactly answer that. I mean, I think everyone has their own things going on. It's just a different time.
But like older
is,
people will say like we had mental health problems and we went to work and we did our thing and the
I think
tears
there's
were
just,
on the
like, a lot of
pillow.
pressure on us.
But the younger generation feels so pressured. Why?
I think there's just like a lot of pressure on us. Like,
But why do you think more pressure on you than others?
because I feel like we're like expected to make all the change that's happening, and I feel like we're expected to just know how to do everything. I don't know. I feel like
Social
also,
media too.
we
Didn't have that.
Social media
right? So
plays a
right.
big part in that as well.
That's
as
what I was waiting to
beautiful
see
as
if
it
you were
is.
going to say that because I
Yeah.
think social media has been a big thing for your
Yes.
generation for
As
sure.
much as I love social media and it's my job, it's also something that can be used for good and for bad. I try to make sure that on my page it's positive. Like I try to show like my authentic self, but I also try to make sure that what I'm putting out there is like nice and kind and happy and not like something that people will feel bad about later after they see it,
But that's not who you are. So
yeah,
it's not. You're just being yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So I just think we
You
all
are
just need to be
Sunshine
kind.
Committee, right? Like your spirit is Sunshine
she is.
Committee
She is.
and positive. So that's what you're putting out, which we need more of.
I just like that's what's important to me because there's so much just like negativity in the world already.
Yeah.
And social media is a ruthless place, and this is coming from someone who loves social media and uses it every day, but it can be really damaging to your mental health at times. And I think that's why it's so important to take social media breaks. I feel like people don't talk about that as much, but if you feel like social media is part of the reason why you're having some mental health struggles, it's like, okay, let's take social media breaks. Let's make sure who we're following on social media are people who align with what we want to see and what we like, and people that make you feel happy and people that don't make you feel like you're not good enough,
My friend in her 50s is muting people that make her feel not good and takes breaks.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how old you are.
Obsessed with the block button.
Yeah.
Obsessed with it. It's my favorite button to use.
I wonder.
I wish I could use it in real life.
Nike, I'd love to hear from you. Like, what do you, if you were to answer the question I was just asking Nia, like, why your generation? Why do you guys feel like there's so much mental health struggle? And why do you feel like there's so much pressure?
Well, honestly, I 100% have to blame social media as much as I love it too. And I've kind of talked about it with Kevin as well. I think for us, there's just this big fear of failure as well. And we are so overexposed to 16-year-olds blowing up, living in mansions, and then we'll look at ourselves and we're like, I'm 30 years old and I'm in grad school and I don't have my life together. And I think it's this comparison thing. I think it's the fear of failure. I think also when you look at your parents who are very, very successful and they did it and they got through it, and you feel like you don't kind of compare and amount to that as well. I think overall we're just really putting so much pressure on ourselves to have everything together immediately. And I think it's very emotionally and mentally taxing. But I think overall we are just so overexposed to people being successful and the like lottery ticket mentality, and just comparing ourselves all the time.
Okay. Well, friends, before we take a break, summer is still here. And if you need anything to feel your best, we're talking about feelings, but I think that, what we wear and how we look really contributes to our feelings, whether we like it or not. Feeling our best is part of how we kind of walk out the door. So I've got all of my favorites for you on my wish list in the podcast description. But one of the things that I love about Macy's is they have a free styling program. Don't know if you know about that, Nia, but you can get a personal stylist for free from Macy's to help you put a look together, which I love, especially going into fall. Sometimes I feel like we need a reset in our closets to kind of get ready for, what's what's to come in the fall and the winter, and like what that hot boot is going to be, or what that one piece you want to add to your closet to feel good and excited because you need new inspiration. So check out their free personal styling service as well. Just head over to my Macy's wishlist. Check it out in the podcast description. Let me know what you end up with. And then, of course, we talk about it all the time here, but it's because we love them. Wonderful pistachios. They are delicious and nutritious. We have them in our carry-on bags, our glove compartments. They don't melt, so they're everywhere. I love the sweet chili. Kevin's all about the lightly salted, but we have them. We incorporate them into our meals, my salad. Oh, and Kevin does it in his yogurt. I always forget about his yogurt.
Yes,
it is a game
do.
changer because it's the
that?
creamy and the crunch. It really works.
Yes.
Each 1 ounce serving, 6 grams of protein, guys, giving you over 10% of your value. So check out wonderfulpistachios.com and enjoy. We'll be right back. So we're back, and we've now kind of updated Nia on what Nike was saying, and I think it's just such an important conversation for the people in the Heal Squad that are listening, that are older, who have young kids maybe your age or younger, or for the young people who are listening who want to understand the older generation. Mm-hmm. I think it's really, we're rolling, honey, so just be quiet as you're slamming all the doors. I think it's a really important conversation because part of what's going wrong in our society is no one's talking to each other and with each other. Everyone's talking at each other.
Yeah.
And so we have to be able to understand each other. And so, you know, leave your tears on the pillow. I mean, I used to go to my boss's office, like the big boss, and I would just like burst into tears. I'm like, oh my God, I'm such a loser. And because we're not supposed to cry, but I can't help it. I'm a super emotional person.
Right.
And so I would, you know, produce my cries. Like I would be like, I can't cry today. I have too much going on. Oh my God, nope, not tomorrow. Shit. Okay, we're going to be in Bora Bora on vacation, our first vacation in 10 years. Okay, when we land, I'll cry then. And literally, like, it's not even, like, it's so real what I'm saying.
Right.
I didn't have time to cry, and it was inconvenient for me to cry in any of the moments that would ruin everything for jobs or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I think, you know, I'm kind of wedged in the middle a little bit where I'm like millennial adjacent and so I kind of understand, but at the same time, you know, I come from a generation that was like, work your ass off.
Yeah.
And, you know, and
suck
it up, the workaholic crew.
Yeah.
And, you know, I got smashed in the face with a couple of bricks, basically from God being like, yeah, no, we're going to slow you down with a brain tumor and a couple of other health issues. And so my life has changed since, but I think sometimes the pendulum, as Nike was saying, goes too extreme. So I think some of what you guys are dealing with was our generation and the one above me were so extreme this way that you guys might be going a little extreme in some ways that way, whether it's what you're feeling or the reaction to it. And now we have to kind of find the way, maybe together.
Well, the big thing is the reactions. The feeling is okay.
Yeah,
that's what you're saying. But it's just how do we react, how do we respond to the feeling? That's what we all have to... Well, first of all, the first step is owning your feelings, which we didn't do. We weren't crying your pillow, like you said, which is like so unhealthy.
Yeah, and that's not your generation. That's what you were taught from another generation.
Yeah.
And then you have to undo it.
Well, it's interesting, too, because, like, you were saying how, like part of the older generations, like, you know, like, suck it up, whatever. But, like, I still have, like, part of that in me where I'm like, you know, like, when some things happen, I'm like, oh, like, just suck it up, like, you'll be fine. But also, like, I always feel like there's, like, a time and place for things, you know, there's time and place. I think that it's good to feel all of the emotions. Like, I really do. I think it's healthy for us to do that.
That's what we learn here every day.
I think that's the point. You said time and a place.
Yeah, but I also respect that there's a time and a place sometimes too, you know? Because
feel all the emotions.
Feel all the emotions.
100%.
But like if I'm
time and place to suck it up, maybe, right? Like there's just,
I mean,
because I'm thinking of your schedule, And there's no way you're going to the White House and meeting the vice president, the president, and not having to suck it up like a schedule or a tough flight, or like going without
Telling
sleep.
the president,
Right?
excuse me, I'm in my feelings right now. I can't.
Well, no, I'm tired, right? Like, And by the way, dance culture, even outside of Abby's studio,
I was gonna say, like,
that's very suck it
That's
up.
your training.
That's part of it. And I think, like, any athlete slash dancer, whoever,
yes.
like,
to be the greatest,
like,
you
to
have
be
to
that
suck
way,
it up.
Sometimes you do have
I
to suck
try
it
to
up.
tell young people about
And it
LeBron.
depends.
He like works so hard. Everyone looks up to LeBron, but like there's times he has to suck it up.
Yeah. And also something that's like that for me, I tried that just kind of helps me as well, just keep myself like on the right path and not kind of spiral sometimes, would be to make sure that, like, when I'm feeling certain things, like, say if something happens, like, is this something that will affect me, like, later on? Like, is this something that truly, truly hurts me, or is this something that I can brush off and it'll just make me stronger? You know, like, some things I think that
that's great.
We need to, like, you know, like, let's sit down, let's have a conversation.
It's like a rating system.
Yeah.
It's
Or it's
a
a one,
a
am I just
two.
tired?
But
You know,
I like it, but to see what you have there, Nia, is an awareness and a mindfulness.
I'm hyper aware.
Yeah, but we didn't have that. No, you're not. You're actually aware enough to say, hey, is this something that I need to deal with now? Or is it, but most
sometimes
people.
I have to help him. So,
all the time, because we just keep going.
Because he's
head,
in that generation where they don't address it at all.
Yeah.
Something will happen and he'll spiral so deeply. And I'm like, Kevin, you are really, really taking this so much harder than you need to. Yeah. And I'll say to him, are you willing, like, say something like work-wise will happen. And I'm like, are you willing not to go? Yes. Okay. Are you willing to lose this? Yes. Okay, great. So now everything's going to work out from here. Mm-hmm. Why? Because you already know the answer to those questions. So if you know the answers to those questions, you know that this is going to be resolved. Mm-hmm. It's just not right now, so you're not getting your instant gratification.
But I think that's a multi-generational problem about awareness. Yeah. Yes, the younger generation might be more aware I'm in pain, but not aware enough like you are. You just took that next step to say, I'm in pain, but... is this, I forget what you said, is this something I suck up, or is this
affecting my life in the future?
Right,
is this just like the now?
Depends on, like, I honestly just think it depends on the person, because, like...
But you can teach that, though. Yeah. I think, like, that can be taught to take a pause, because I know I can do it. Yeah. I just never did it.
Yeah.
But I want to start doing it.
Mm-hmm. I think that's just part of it. Like, I think just... you know, like, growing up the way I did, but also just being a dancer / athlete, like, sometimes you have to go on stage when you're having a really awful day. Mm-hmm. Like, you feel the worst you've ever felt, but guess what? You still have to go on stage.
The show must go on.
The show must go on, you know? You still have a job to do. But I do think it's part of, like, you know, finding, like, that happy medium. But again, like, what is so important is to not, like, neglect your feelings. And I think that's part of it. Like, when we're talking about, like, yes, it's like there are times where it's okay to say, like, oh, like that was Sally online said X, Y, and Z, and now I'm upset. Like, yes, that's totally valid to be upset, but you know what, let's take a minute for that and then move on. We can't dwell on that. And something that has helped me is not dwelling on things. Like, just personally, I feel like I seem to move on quickly from things because I know myself. I can't give too much attention to, like, one specific thing that's, like, especially if it's hurting me, like, unless it's really bad. Sometimes it does get to me. I always...
Sally, you have to think of where Sally's coming from.
Yeah, exactly.
Sally might be so in such a bad place that, you know, when you're in a bad place, a lot of people just are purging out to try to get it out of their system. Yeah. And you're on the receiving end.
A leading psychologist just had told me that 93% of people that are coming at you in that way are 93% of them are projecting.
Yeah, they are, for
so
sure.
much pain themselves. Sure. So you just look at them like that, then you can walk away a lot easier.
Exactly. And I will always say this. I've said this for, like, ever. Like, when people ask me, how do you deal with all the hate online? Like, don't you see? I'm like, well, sometimes I can't look at the comments. You know, like, sometimes genuinely, like, I don't. because that's not good for my mental health. And usually when I start looking at the comments more, that's when I start getting more upset. Like that's when I feel the shift. So I try not to look at my comments too much. And I think that helps a lot. Like I look at the very first ones, like that are my friends. I like them. And like occasionally, like if I see like a comment from like a fan or a follower that's like really sweet, I'll like it too, or I'll respond. But that, I think it's setting boundaries. And that's a huge part too. I think setting boundaries is like a huge thing.
The fact that you know about boundaries and we're just learning about boundaries in our 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
We're just learning about boundaries. Like it changed my life a few years ago when I started learning it and started applying it. I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know this was possible, because we're taught to be good girls. We're taught to just not make any problems. You know?
Yeah.
It's a whole other world now.
It really is. And it's interesting that you say that, because I'm definitely a people pleaser, like through and through. Like I'm always going to be that girl. But something that has helped me with that is setting boundaries, but like respectful boundaries. Like it's okay to say no to things, you know? And that's been really awesome. It's kind of like a very powerful tool for me. Like no is so powerful.
We didn't know how to say no either.
Yeah.
By the way, this is very, very exciting for me to like, this is a fun episode, because all the things you guys know how to do at 23, like think of where you're going to be.
I also think you had amazing family.
Oh, thanks.
I can always tell when the great like Nike's parents are incredible. The people who've worked on our show, we've been blessed. Great parents. Like you have really good family.
Thank you. Thank you.
But the fact that you are already learning how to say no, a lot of the Heal Squad, we're doing our monthly Zooms with different healers and stuff, and it is a thing that we're all struggling with, this learning how to say no.
We don't know how to say no.
But I forget, we let Nike jump in and talk, and then we took a break and we never went back to Nike. But Nike, you were really hitting it on the head with the pressures you guys see when you see someone 16 and they're like a YouTube star and they're making billions and all of that. Like we didn't have that in our generation. Like we had supermodels on covers of magazines. We had boy bands and girl bands. Like we had but those were the untouchables. Right. Yeah. Those were the things that you could never be.
Right.
Yeah.
But
now, like it was like
you couldn't attain it. So
you couldn't attain it.
It made it easier. There's no pressure.
No pressure, because
they were gods, and it was.
But now everyone can be a YouTube star. Everyone can be on TV. Everyone can be a movie star. It is all just even playing field. Yeah. So, Nike, what you said really touched me, because I would have never thought of it. That's why I'm pushing you guys to tell us, like, why do you guys have more pressure? Because how would we know if we don't ask?
Yeah. I think, social media is like a highlight reel, But
Nike, what did you said you had said earlier, Nike, you on the mic?
Yes. Hi.
Hi. So, Nike, we were talking about, you were chiming in about your take on social media and how this has affected your generation.
Yeah, like I said, and kind of Maria, what you were just going on, first off, having that access to everyone, it makes it feel like it really is so attainable for you. And then also, everyone's going to try. And then, oh my gosh, my video didn't go viral overnight. What, is there something wrong with me? And then you've put yourself out there. People are perceiving me. What are they thinking about me? Oh, are they thinking I'm a failure? I'm embarrassed. I think there's just so much that goes into it. And we put an intense amount of pressure on ourselves to just be these incredibly successful people, like the millions of people that we would probably never have known about before social media. And it's just like, why am I letting someone that lives tens of thousands of miles away truly affect how I feel in my life and what I define as success? So it's definitely something I have tried to work on. And Nia, me and you are both like in similar phases of life, figuring out life post-grad. And especially in college, I think that's when I had the most taxing mental health things as well. I don't know how that experience was for you. But I definitely think it's just an insane overexposure to everything. And I think especially during COVID, when we had nothing to do but to scroll aimlessly for hours, I think that's definitely when things got very crazy, where everyone's like, I want to do this. I want to be a star. I'm going to put myself out there because they did it too. So I don't know. I think it's a lot that goes into that. Maria and Kevin, I don't know how you guys take that.
No one has explained it the way you guys are explaining it. And I've asked, because like I've asked a lot of like the gurus too who come on the show, like why? And because they'll say, you know, the kids, these generations are really suffering. I'm like, but why? I want to know why.
Yeah.
Because that's just been my question since I was a kid. Why? I'm the annoying why? How come? Why? Because I'm very inquisitive. I want to know everything.
Yeah. Well, like it's interesting because I think some people too would probably think that I wouldn't feel the way that like other like people my age feel, because they're like, well, you're working, which is like true. I'm really grateful. I'm truly blessed. But like I definitely still feel like that way of like, oh my gosh, like
Is it enough?
Other people are doing this, like maybe I should be doing that. Like oh my gosh, like this person is doing X, Y, and Z, and you're seeing this and you're like, and they're like, they're doing this and they've done this and they're only a certain age. They just bought a house and they're only a certain age. They just did X, Y, and Z, and like you keep seeing this, and one, that is amazing. Kudos to the people who are like thriving, you know. But also like it doesn't have to take away from like what you're doing. And I think we need to figure out like, or just be kinder to ourselves, give ourselves grace, because we see all these people doing amazing things, which yes, that's amazing for them, but that doesn't mean that we're not amazing, you know, like that we're not doing.
Let me help you with this, because at the end of the day, you stressing about it is going to hurt your chances of going anywhere anyway.
Yeah.
And furthermore, if I have learned anything in my mere 46 years here, it's that your path is unique to you.
Exactly.
And the problem is we're all trying to be everybody else. And some of us will get lucky enough to find our way back to you or to us. And sometimes it's through God's hand, like I say with me.
Right.
I found my way back to me. I became a human doing because I was following all these other people and be like, if they can do it, I can do it. I'll work 20 hours a day. I can work 7 days a week and never take vacations. I can write books in the middle of the night. I can do it. And then it was like, wait, that wasn't even my nature.
Right.
And some of these people really need all of that attention and all of that stuff. And it was only when I was in a hospital bed where I realized I don't.
Right.
And I was just chasing a dream that wasn't even mine.
Right.
And so now that I'm in this phase of my life, I do have those moments you're talking about where I'm like, well, should I be doing this? Well, these people are in the kind of area I'm in and they're doing all this stuff. And then I wake up and I'm like, wait, none of that is authentic to me. I don't want to do that. I don't care about that. And those people are still maybe chasing things that they don't even realize they're chasing. And they're still in that hustle culture and in that hustle world. And maybe it's inauthentic on their end too.
Right.
I just want to do what's authentically right for me. And I live a much more peaceful life every day when I do that. When I falter and I'm kind of like, ugh, you know, it's harder, but you really have your own path. And if you can just trust, and that's where I believe faith is so important, and God and believing in something bigger than us is so important. My faith carries me through those tough moments where I'm just like, okay, I've trusted in you this entire way. You have not let me down. Even the painful moments were meant to take me to another level. They were invitations to another level and to growth. And so I'm just going to keep trusting that I'm going where I'm supposed to go. Yeah. I'll just hold on to the fact that I'll work harder than anybody else. I'm going to be a good person. I'm going to keep my integrity line very, very strong. And I'm going to surround myself with good people. So if I keep doing those things and value the things in life, like my family and my health, everything else will take care of itself.
Yeah. I definitely like agree with that. I think the same way. Like, as long as I'm doing my part, like the things will fall into pieces. What is meant for me is meant for me. I'm a really big believer in like most things happen for a reason, you know? And I feel like just having like, not even like, just definitely believing in something bigger than you, but just also having faith in yourself that like things are just going to work out, I don't know. It's just, it's something that helps ground me. I'm like, you know what? Like, no matter what, I'm going to be okay. Yep. We're going to figure things out. No matter what comes my way, we're going to take it step by step.
Always. And, everything. You will, Marie Forleo's book is funny. Everything is figure outable. It really is. No matter what life throws at you, you're going to figure it out. And you're going to get through one way or another. I think that's really important to always remember. There was something else I was going to say, but I forgot. So I threw a number in there.
Listen, I think it's much more important for our audience to know. Do you feel a sisterhood with the other dance mom girls? I'm sorry. Sorry to geek out on dance moms. But do you talk to any of the other girls? Like, you guys grew up together, essentially.
All of the original girls that were on the show, I'm still very close with them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are they out here?
Some of them are. Some of them are still in Pittsburgh. Yeah.
And then, were there celebrity fans of your show?
Yeah, there were.
Were there any that surprised you?
Yeah, I want to, oh gosh, I'm trying to remember. It always like comes up randomly though. I'm like, oh my gosh, so-and-so watched the show. Okay, this might sound bad, but I was like, it was either Kristen Chenoweth or Kelly Ripa. I can't remember. It was one of them. Or it could have been both. It could have been both.
I could see Kelly Ripa loving it.
It could have been both, but it was one of them that I think like tweeted once about the show, or like, I don't know. Sometimes I'll meet people and they're like, oh my gosh, like I loved watching the show. And that's really cool. That's really cool. I feel like people's like guilty pleasures, just like reality TV. So
do you still dance?
I do, actually. I danced all throughout college.
What do you love to dance? Like, what's your favorite?
I love contemporary and I love musical theater, like jazz.
What about Dancing with the Stars? Did they ever call you?
I've always wanted to do Dancing with the Stars.
You'll
Always.
so win.
I've never done ballroom dancing.
Oh
so
my God, it's
Rhea, you gotta
so
pick up the phone. We gotta make
I'm like,
Wow.
I have always wanted to do it. Always. I watched since I was like itty bitty.
Oh, so you probably saw my season. I did it.
I absolutely did.
14. I used
to watch. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
And I've told him that to his face. I was like, I absolutely love you. Big fan of your work.
I think we need Uncle.
I mean, he's the greatest. What are you gonna say?
Right?
We need Uncle Kevin out Maria to kick some doors open.
And it's so cool because actually the last season of the show, Cheryl Burke actually was our dance teacher for a period of time. So that was really awesome. Pretty surreal to have her as like our dance coach for a little bit.
That's
but
so cool.
Yeah, I've always been a huge fan. Yeah.
Now, question. Do the dance moms, do they stay in touch? Because I know a lot of a lot of the young college kids now, the parents.
Yeah.
Our parents weren't all friends.
Yeah.
I see parents being friends now.
My mom is on a podcast with some of the other moms. So they still like keep in touch and everything. Yeah. Like, especially like Melissa, like she's really close to Melissa.
Is anyone in touch with Abby?
I don't know, but I'm not. But yeah, no. I don't know. I don't think a lot of us are. Is there a side of you that appreciates anything about her? Because I've had like really tough, rough situations with people, and there's sides with time. I've appreciated certain things about them that I learned from them. Mm-hmm. Do you have anything that you can think of like that? I mean, yeah, she was my dance teacher. Like she taught me how to dance. Like. By the way, side note. Was she a good dance teacher? Just purely for, I know she's great entertainment. Yeah, I mean, she has credentials. Like she took people to Broadway, so like yeah, like she has credentials. But my relationship with her is just very different, and I'm still trying to like process things. Yeah, but yeah, it takes a lot of time sometimes. Yeah, it does. So like I don't want to be like too quick to say like whether or not anything, but because with her, like I don't really even talk about her that much. Like, yeah, do you think you need to though? But off air, like with when you talk about processing feelings,
Was she that big of an impact in terms of, the negative? Like, with...
I mean, yeah, for sure. But
Interesting.
it's something that, like with time, I'm gonna, with time, it'll be fine. But, it's something still that I'm like, you know what? Like, personally, I try not to talk about it her too much. One, because it's like, we're both, living totally different lives now. But also because, I try to be very careful with my words. I try to be very careful with them, because words are powerful and they hold a lot of weight. So I don't ever want to say something that, I don't mean or I want to take back.
Classy.
So especially when, talking about her, I just, I don't want to, when I'm when I have my thoughts together, it'll be a different story. But
yeah, you'll write your book and you'll get it out like that.
But it's so funny though, because a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people always ask me, they're like, you don't really talk about the show and I do talk about the show.
Yeah, you've been great about it.
I talk about the show and a lot of parts, I'm pretty much an open book. I tell people that all the time. I'm a pretty open book. But also there are some things that I'm still processing, and that at some point I didn't do the Dance Moms reunion show.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, I didn't do that, and a lot of people were some people were upset. Some people were
well, who cares about them? Why didn't you do it?
Yeah, well, I personally. No, I didn't want to do it. I just
wait. We said reunions and said
I said no.
Yeah,
I said no to my Abby.
Yeah, I'm just no. I love the girls. It's nothing even against them. I just was
not putting myself back in that situation.
It was just for me, I was when I'm ready to talk about it on my own terms, I will. But that situation probably just wasn't the right one, and I'm happy with my decision. Very happy with my decision. But yeah, but I do the girls, some of the girls that went on it, I was really happy that they kind of got to share their story, especially the ones who left earlier from the show. They got to talk about their experiences, because their experience was like mine but also different. So I'm happy they got that time to kind of to heal, but then also to have some type of closure,
And Abby wasn't part of it either, which everyone said it was a good. The response was it was a good thing.
He knows everything about the show. I know nothing. He knows everything. What a great co-host I picked for today.
I just, she's good TV, the lady, but it was a fascinating show. I mean, the Toddlers and Tiaras was that whole world.
Yeah.
I'm just happy that it seems again, it seems like what I love is that most of the dancers that came out of it have been very successful.
Yes. And
knock on wood,
and also, I'm so proud of us. I'm so proud of us. All of us came out pretty well adjusted, and that doesn't always happen.
Yeah, but why is that? No, but can we explore that? Why? Do you think it's because of Pittsburgh thing?
Yeah, I do. I genuinely do. Because
they weren't in LA.
Yeah, we weren't out because we all especially the OG girls, we started the show together. I danced with those girls since I was 3 or 4 years old. Years before the show.
The bond was already there.
Yeah, the bond was already there. Yeah.
So fascinating.
And every time I see them, it's no time has passed.
Is reality TV, I know Dancing with the Stars is reality TV, but that's not
It's different. It's different.
So different. Is reality TV off the table for you now? Knowing that it comes with a lot of mental health.
Not Dancing with the Stars though. Love it. But it just depends. It depends. I think I do unscripted stuff. So I wouldn't ever say no to reality. But it would just depend on what it is, I don't really like being super messy. That's just not my. Some people love it, but that's just something I think I've had enough of it for my lifetime.
Yeah.
I'm just I try my best to not be messy, just because it's bad for my mental health and for other people's, but yeah, it would just literally depend on what it is, you know.
Did you watch season 1, House of Villains?
No, I didn't.
What was that? Why would she watch that? Was there Dance Mom people on there?
Abby was one of the villains.
Honey,
And
she was on
and
there.
and by the way, one of my friends is going to be on season 2. I'm super excited.
Who?
You
Wait.
know Camille from Bad Girls Club.
I do?
Yeah. Maria, yes, remember when we did the thing with Oxygen Afterbuzz? You know her, you mentored her. Stop.
Okay.
Don't be a smartass.
I'm not being
I
smart
do.
You know what I do? Of course, what do you think?
I
I'm
don't know
just
what you're
making it up?
talking about. I don't even know the show.
Well, now you don't know House of Villains, but Camille's on it, and she in real life she's not a villain, but she's on that show. But Abby was on season 1, and it's like it's the Legion of Doom of all of the reality
Who
TV
else?
shows. Off the top of my head, like Danielle from one of the Housewives shows. I mean, just Spencer Pratt was season 1, so it's like every
villains, super
every
villain.
non Nia Sioux is yeah. It's
reality
all,
stresses me out sometimes, watching it.
Yes.
Even watching it does.
Yeah, because I'm because
It's a
I was
petri
on it,
dish
I was
for
like,
mental health
they're real
issues.
people. They're real people. So when certain things happen, I'm like, why would they
But
do that?
that's the thing now that's happened with reality, and I'll kind of start to wrap us up here. That
Why? It's just getting good.
I know. No, but we watch a certain show. We won't mention the name because I don't want to. I'm not trying to accuse networks of anything or whatever. But at the same time, what the average person doesn't know. Because the average person is doing what Nikkei said. They're seeing everybody getting famous and doing these reality shows and making all this money, doing all these side things, and then they get there and they realize probably it's not as glamorous, but whatever. You sign up for this show, whatever reality show, and you are now put in extreme situations so that your mental health does break down, and then you act in extreme ways that are very probably even out of character for some people.
Right.
Then you are morbidly embarrassed publicly, and then maybe they'll flash some more money at you to come back, and then you can't say no because now you've quit your job to go do this, and now you need to use that money to pay for your therapist probably. But it's a very dark scenario that people, it's like you're playing with the devil a little bit and you just don't know it.
Which ones stress you out, Nia?
Oh my God. Honey.
Those would be the ones I need to watch.
No.
That's why it stresses you out.
It's literally even my boyfriend likes watching Catfished, and
oh my God, we're interviewing the host of it after this.
Wait,
Cammy.
I love her.
Say an hour and then you can talk to her.
We both love her. Tell her I said hello. But yeah, because I love her. I love because that show is so fun to watch, and that's one I can watch. But sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm actually so scared, because it hurts. I'm an empath, so when people get hurt, it's it really just takes a lot out of me. So when I watch scripted shows, it just makes me feel a little better because I'm like, oh, these aren't real people. They're not making these decisions, I don't know, it's not affecting real people.
Yeah,
so,
no, I get it.
Yeah,
Wait,
I'm
Catfish isn't real people?
No,
it is. That's why it's hard to watch.
Oh, you pretend they're not real.
No, she's saying a
I'm
scripted
saying
show.
that's the one I can watch because it's because it's more chill. But even whenever people get catfish, that hurts. It hurts my feelings.
You really peel the layers and you see their lives, how sad they are.
Oh my gosh,
it's terrible.
They're so invested. It hurts my feelings.
Yeah.
It makes me sad.
It's really hard.
But that is a fun show to watch.
Well, on 90 Day Fiance, remember the character that he was catfished? And
it was so sad.
He was so sad. He was so lonely, and he was so deeply in love for years. He was in a this fake relationship.
Oh, you know what reality shows I do like?
What?
I love a good cooking show.
Yeah.
I know those are more competition, but I love
you and Maria.
I love a good cooking show. What Ace of Cakes, growing up on Food Network, that was my jam. And anything with Cupcake Wars, any of those things.
Oh, I did Cupcake Wars.
Yeah, oh, did you actually?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I had never made a cupcake before.
Oh my gosh.
The day before, my bearded friend, Christian Sworge was like, all right, I'm going to teach you how to make cupcakes. A big, burly, bearded man. It was so funny.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with those. But
not that bearded men can't make cupcakes, but I was not exposed to that.
But that's what I'm saying. It's not even that I don't like reality shows. It just depends on on the reality show because like I'm just like when I'm watching something, I just low key want to be happy, you know, like I just watched New Girl and like it's my comfort show,
It's
and
it's
you
a
know,
show.
yeah.
Isn't it funny that that's gone? Like to me, that's still kind of a new show. That's how old I am. Now, most importantly, what everyone wants to know is, obviously,
Will Nia endorse Kev on the Scene?
No. She knows about Kev on
has
the
a
Scene.
segment on the show called Kev on the Scene. Do
Yeah,
you want
Mom.
her to say, hi, I'm Nia, and I love Kevin on the
And you're
Scene?
tuning into Kev on the Scene. Listen, no, this is a very serious question.
Okay, go ahead.
And Nike's going to back me up on this.
Okay.
Have you met Bad Baby?
Honey,
And
I'm
what was
dead.
that interaction like?
No,
Really?
never.
Nothing.
Nike's dying.
Okay.
Never.
Okay.
There's a
So
lot
are
of
you
people
more
I haven't
team-
Should we
met.
shut Kevin's mic off
No, wait,
now?
I was
would you-
actually telling Dwayne right now, we need to take the mic away from Kevin immediately. Like,
What?
we've lost
I'm
the
not
plot. We
bad.
have truly
Once he
lost
starts
the plot.
talking about Bad Baby,
Cash
that's
me
when it got
outside.
nuts.
Coming,
I've
Maria,
never
I'm
met him
shocked.
before.
$53 million. Cash me outside.
Nick,
How about
Nike,
that?
remember, you
Never.
are a producer. You do have authority.
You know what? I'll remember that
Shut
for
me
next
off.
time.
All right, whatever.
I'm like, no, I've literally never.
Wait, what's the other
never-
one's name that you love? It's Bad Baby.
Well,
and
I look at people. There's two different kinds of people. There's Team Bad Baby and there's Team Wovicki.
Wolfick.
Oh, I've never met her either.
But
I'm
you know
personal
her.
friends with Woe, so that's why I say.
So crazy.
Honey, you
Yeah.
are not friends with
I have her in
I
my
love
phone.
how-
I
I
interviewed
love how
her.
you say it like you guys are besties.
We
friends
are.
with Whoa.
Would you like to
shorten the
call her
name
right
to,
now?
like, friends with
I
Whoa.
have her phone number. Her and her mom.
Was Vicky the one that found Jesus?
Yes.
She did. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, she did.
Okay.
She did.
Yes. Yes.
And she was going to become a nurse for a 26-hour period,
Oh,
and then went back to being an influencer.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Love that.
All right. Well,
Love that character
we're gonna do
arc.
them. Nia, this was such a pleasure.
This was so much fun.
This was so much
The
fun.
best time.
I feel like this episode went from really getting to understand your generation, and I really appreciate that because I think that we all need to learn how to understand each other. So I think on your side, you have to understand that we were all lashed at. And we're like, wait, it could be better. Why did we have to suffer?
We can all heal together now.
Exactly.
Yes.
And that is the button for this. And then,
Yes,
of
squad.
course, now know that Kevin's besties with Wovicki, which is a
Yeah.
very important thing to know.
Our besties,
But guys,
we're
capture
dear
the
friends,
convo.
and I'm Team Wovicki. Although no disrespect to Bad Baby, I don't
I
want to
didn't
start any
realize there was
trouble.
a rivalry.
There was. It even went to fisticuffs.
So,
God.
can I
Yeah.
just finish really quickly? So, Nia directed this series, Capture the Convo, she was mentioning earlier, for Mental Health Awareness Month. When is Mental Health Awareness Month?
May.
May. So,
Yeah.
this is not going to come out until. Oh, no,
it
I've
came
seen it
out.
on your Instagram
yeah,
already.
Yeah, it came out. It came out. So it's
Okay.
on there. So something that I would like to just leave whoever is listening, like, I want people to know that there's always someone out there for help. Like, seriously. Anytime someone, like, if you ever feel like you're in need, like, there's always someone out there. There's resources. You can go to seizetheawkward.com.
seizetheawkward.com.
Wait, let me make sure. Let me make sure it's not a .org, but I'm pretty sure it's seizetheawkward.com. Wait, if Heather's there, maybe ask her. But I'm for right now. I'm just gonna say go to any of the Seize the Awkward sites, their Instagram. They have amazing resources there, and you can get the help that you need from them. And then also just I want people to know that you're not alone, and you can get out of anything that you need to, you know, like, there's always help out there. There's always somebody, because that's something that's really important, and, like, more people need to know, like, there's always something, and it always will get better. Yeah, sorry. Just had to leave you guys with that.
I love that. Thank you, Nia.
Nia, may I say this?
You're going to talk again?
I'm just going to. I would now like to offer my gifts to Nia.
Oh, you have gifts for Nia?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I love this.
I see in her future.
Mm-hmm.
I see Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
I see
Dancing with the Stars.
screenwriting. I do actually see that. I do actually see that. No, I don't joke about this stuff. I joke about everything else. I see screenwriting, and I'm going to get you some information on that. Is I want you to take your literature over to screenwriting because you can make your own stuff that you'll be able to star in. I actually see, not that this is limiting, but I hope you don't see it as limiting, but I could see you doing a lot of faith-based stuff. I could see the stuff on Hallmark, and I see greater things too. It just depends what you want to do with it. But I think, I see that, and I definitely see Broadway for her, and the singing and the dancing. And I think there's smart reality stuff like Dancing with the Stars, or there's other ones out there.
I'm a Celebrity, get me out of here. I'm kidding.
That's
do you sing?
I do.
Yeah, it's on me. No, I know she does. So I can, that gets the whole
Kevin's
thing.
a career psychic.
I love that.
So,
He really is, though.
Yeah, that part
Thank
I'm being
you.
honest. I'm being honest about all that stuff. So and it's
that's
all
very
ahead of you.
sweet. Thank
so
you.
just pace yourself, and we'll help you there too.
That's very sweet.
We'll
Thank
totally
you.
help,
Thanks.
because this was awesome. This was a lot of fun.
This was so fun.
Yeah,
I love talking with you guys.
Yeah, same. Well, you can come back anytime.
Thanks.
I'll
take you up on that. Don't say
come
that to
co-host
us.
anytime you want. You want to come co-host?
Yeah.
You should. Come in. Nia, thank you so much. Friends, I hope you guys enjoyed this 2-part conversation with Nia. Of course, you can find out all about Capture the Convo. We'll put a link in that in the podcast description. Dwayne and Ike will make sure of it. And in the meantime, be nice people, make good choices, and be present.
This podcast and all related content published or distributed by or on behalf of Maria Menounos or mariamenounos.com is for informational purposes only and may include information that is general in nature and that is not specific to you. Any information or opinions expressed or contained herein are not intended to serve as or replace medical advice, nor to diagnose, prescribe, or treat any disease, condition, illness, or injury, and you should consult the healthcare professional of your choice regarding all matters concerning your health, including before beginning any exercise, weight loss, or healthcare program. If you have or suspect you may have a healthcare emergency, please contact a qualified healthcare professional for treatment. Any information or opinions provided by a guest expert or host featured within website or on company's podcast are their own, not those of Maria Menounos or the company. Accordingly, Maria Menounos and the company cannot be responsible for any results or consequences or actions you may take based on information or opinions.